the man who is an agent with Homeland Security. He showed up while they were arresting somebody else. So they had to grab him in the street. I never got a chance to talk to him. His interview with police was very telling.
My father was a police officer. I was a police officer. I worked for the Department of Homeland Security. Okay. I understand you guys have a job to do, and I'm not trying to tell you anything else other than that. I swear to God, as God is my witness, I'm wearing a St. Michael's medal right now. Okay? I was not going to do anything with her. May the good Lord upstairs strike me dead. I had no intentions on doing anything with that young girl at all, period. I swear to God.
So you could sit here and tell me that you didn't have any intent to have sex this time? Okay, I can believe that. But I'm telling you, I don't believe it that you didn't intend to have sex at some point with this girl.
I swear to God, sir, I was
It would have happened.
Sir, okay? I swear to God it was not.
You know what? I guarantee you it would have happened. You're no different. All right?
Sir, I'm not.
Every guy, first time, third time meeting, fifth time meeting, it would have happened. Because you meet the first time, it's going to happen. There's no reason to meet at all.
He's 43-year-old Michael Murray. Online, he sent naked pictures of himself to a girl posing as a 13-year-old. Later, he asks the decoy if she wants to have sex with him, but he wants it to be her decision.
Frag gives the okay, come let him in. Hey! He had his McDonald's bag, he was all excited. Came walking in.
Hey, why don't you come in over here? We're having a little conversation. Please join us.
What did I do wrong?
Just come here, we'll chat for a minute. Come on in.
I'm leaving.
I'd like to talk to you.
About what?
About a couple things.
I'm leaving. I'm sorry. I didn't know what was going on.
Well, why don't you explain that to me?
Nothing.
After the 43-year-old makes a quick exit,
Get down! Get down! Get down on the ground! Get down on the ground!
Police arrest him and try to keep him quiet.
Get up!
But Murray cannot seem to stop crying.
Shh. Keep quiet. I can't. I gotta get the truck back.
Mr. Murray, on March 31st of 2007, you had a girl mental, is that right?
Yes.
And on that particular day, it was your intention to go to a location, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Your intention was to meet an individual who was at least 13 years old but less than 16 years old, is that right?
Yes.
And your intention was to have a sexual contact with that person, is that right?
Yes.
Murray and Lubrano both face up to 364 days in county jail and lifetime parole supervision.
When she tells you that she's 13, you mentioned that you're kind of young and basically you're jailbait. So you knew right off front that this was trouble.
Correct.
And you also stated first time you had contact with her that you're looking for sex. You weren't looking for conversation. You were looking for sex first, and probably conversation second, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You're also asked if she was a virgin. Was that something that was probably important to you?
No, not really. It wasn't really important. I was just asking.
But you were curious.
Yes.
Probably heightened the excitement level a little bit, though, did it?
A little bit.
Sure.
Is it okay if I take your sweatshirt off, sir?
Sure.
Okay.
Is it warm in here?
Yes, it is.
And you asked her that same day that you initiated contact with her if she wanted to have sex with you. And then you get into some pretty explicit comments with her.
Details, yes.
You can see your progression here.
Yeah.
You got a pretty good thought pattern, pretty good game plan lined out, Mike.
Right.
Mike, I find it hard to believe that probably this is your first time you've had any online chat with with people of this age.
It is, sir. I swear, the first time.
You swear?
Yes.
That's probably a pretty good indication that you're lying.
No, I'm telling you the truth. I've never talked
How
to
did you get into the chat? How did you hook up with this girl on the computer?
Well, it's just a local chat room. You can get in.
Okay. Pat him down. Pat him down.
I let my other head get the best of me.
Okay.
And I'm pretty regretful right about now. So my wife comes back in 3 days from the Army, and I'm not going to know how to tell her this. Being in the Marine Corps as a sniper, I was pretty in tune to my surroundings, and so I noticed a couple vehicles that looked out of place, so I left the first time, and I'd seen this on TV before and never thought I'd be part of it.
The man chatting with a decoy identifying herself as a 14-year-old girl is Michael Lee Lott.
How's it going?
Good.
What were you going to do?
Well, I was going to see how old she actually was. If she was, I was going to ask her for proof when I got here. See if she had a license or whatever. She didn't have a license. If she was really 15, I was going to bounce. But
you were going to bounce?
If she was older than 18, I was probably going to ask, because she said she squirted and I've never seen it before. I was going to ask her to see if I could see
Squirted? What do you mean by squirted?
Like, I don't know, like a girl gets off and she like ejaculates outside or whatever.
So you thought, well, on the way to Home Depot, why not stop and see this girl perform this sexual act?
Right.
Have you ever tried to solicit a girl who was underage before?
No.
So you just today decided that on the way to Home Depot to get graphite colored paint to paint your house where your wife and 3 children live, you'd stop here to see a 14-year-old girl.
Right.
Why did you think that was okay? I want to eat your pussy.
That's, yeah.
Yes?
Yep.
What did you mean by that?
Like, go down there.
You wanted to go down there. You say, I want to fuck you hard. Explain.
Just have sex with her.
So, I know, it's cool.
How you doing?
Look at the beach, it's so pretty. Oh, I'm kind of shy.
Come on, no hug.
Let's just stand here and look at the beach for a minute.
Yeah.
Kind of shy.
Let me go to my truck.
What are you gonna grab?
Huh?
What are you gonna grab?
We think Collins spots the officers. And how old is Allie?
She said she was 14.
14. And how old are you? Tell me what womanly things you've done in your short years as an adult.
I had no intentions, no nothing.
No intentions, no nothing. So you drove 60 miles to see a 14-year-old girl.
Just to say hi.
Just to say hi.
I wasn't planning on doing anything. Absolutely not. My intentions were not anything other than to say hi.
Say hi.
Never met anybody online.
You've never met anybody online? You ever see our stories
Yes.
on computer predators?
This is silly.
What's silly?
All of this is silly. I'm not going to keep doing this, I guess.
Silly to him, but just for a moment, until he sees the police at the end of the boardwalk.
Hands on top of your head.
Michael Popovich is a middle-aged married man looking for a girl who's so young she could be his granddaughter. In his very first text to our decoy Bailey, he appeared to know he could be breaking the law.
I'm 13. Is that too young?
13 is very young. I just don't want to go to jail for hitting on a young girl.
Popovich is a former Marine lieutenant colonel working for a defense contractor. He apparently never learned the Marine Corps motto, Semper Fi. Always faithful.
I'm really in a hot mood today. I hope you are too.
This guy actually ducked out during his 30th wedding anniversary to call our decoy.
I think I would probably keep you naked the entire time I was there. And you might not have a choice. I really want to keep everyone.
He sent sexually explicit videos of himself. Many of his texts are so raunchy, we can't show them on TV. The chat soon turns into a dominant and submissive relationship.
I love that you want to be bound and restrained, my hot little slave princess. And I'd want you talking so hot and dirty.
After 2 months, Popovich broke it off.
I'm sorry, but you're 13, and it's wrong for me. And by the way, very illegal. You can always call me daddy.
But the breakup was too late. The Fairfield cops called the Virginia Beach Police. Popovich was taken into custody. Popovich was sentenced to 20 years in prison, suspended after serving 10. He'll be eligible for Social Security when he's freed. But perhaps the most creative excuses came from 23-year-old Mike, known online as MUXACB 2003. He traveled from another state to meet a 14-year-old. At first, Mike says he's at the wrong address.
This is 554?
Yeah, no, this is not 554.
Then he says someone was impersonating him online.
I have no idea what this is.
Either way, he says it's all a big mix-up.
Explain to me exactly how you ended up here. I mean, you just walked up the sidewalk and walked into this house because what? You thought it looked like a nice house?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you understand why that story doesn't make sense?
After a few minutes, Mike decides to come clean.
Because I wasn't thinking.
You weren't thinking?
No.
So all that stuff you told me earlier is a lie?
Yes.
You want to tell me the truth now?
Yes.
What happened?
He admits he came here hoping for sex with a 14-year-old.
Did you bring condoms today? You did?
Yeah.
So what does that say about your intent?
It was wrong. It was stupid. I was immature.
Michael, another would love to be naked.
Michael Gentile looks like he could be the grumpy old grandfather next door. But what kind of sick senior citizen would send your kids a perverted picture like this? Or leave your little girl the most disgusting voicemails imaginable?
Hey, my little sex kitten. How are you, sweetheart? I can't wait to kiss you and hold you. I love you, sweetheart. I want to make you so happy, my little angel. I love you, baby, so much.
And you'll be shocked when you hear what cops say Gentile was planning.
A kiddie porn manufacturing site.
It doesn't take long for the rat named Gentile to crawl out of the sewer and contact the decoy we will call Brittany.
I love you so much, baby.
Gentile sends pictures of himself naked, posing in front of a mirror, in the woods, even sitting on the toilet. His text messages are some of the raunchiest and most disgusting imaginable. Many we can't even put on TV, but most involve Gentile's love for nudity. I sent you a picture on Skype. I'm naked. I would kiss you all over, LOL. Yesterday I went to a river upstate and went nude sunbathing. Do you want to go with me, LOL? Will you try sleeping naked tonight? I sleep naked every night. He sends Brittany links to porn videos, asking her to watch and learn. Remember, he thinks he's talking to a 13-year-old girl. I want you to feel comfortable looking at naked human bodies. I also want you to learn what they're doing. Watching those movies is your sex education homework, he says. I'm going to give you a test on it tomorrow. Gentile asks her to get a banana and do unmentionable things with it. It's just practice for when the real thing ever happens. I want you to imagine that the banana is me. He reveals what could be interpreted as a passion for pedophilia. We went on a tour today of an old castle on the Hudson River. There were 2 girls around your age. I was looking at those girls today, thinking of you, and getting so excited. What is even more disturbing, Gentile sent pictures of what appears to be child pornography. Then he asks Brittany something that will come back to haunt him. Can I take pictures of you? Yeah, maybe. LOL, no one will see them though, right? Just me. I would never want to see my sweetheart with anyone. They find a key card for a local hotel. Gentile lives only an hour away. Why would he need a room?
Single, divorced, married?
Married. Soon to be divorced.
The cops tell him he's got 1 phone call.
I'll tell my wife. She works for an attorney.
Now Gentile makes the call married predators dread.
I'm in jail.
Telling the wife he's under arrest for trying to sleep with a 13-year-old.
I went to meet somebody and they're saying that she was underage or something. I don't know.
She apparently thinks this is a big joke.
This is Officer Wickman, Fairfield Police. This is not a joke. If you want, you can call back the police department. I can give you that number.
What is your reason to be in Fairfield, Connecticut today?
I was meeting, I thought, a friend to go to a movie.
And like many of the men we catch, he claims he thought the girl was an adult. His little kitten tells him she's only 13 years old.
What was your dialogue between the two of you?
Just different things about everything.
Like?
Sex to school, you know.
Sex to school?
Yeah, everything, parents, and, you know.
You understand the charges that I told you?
Yeah, I didn't know she was a minor.
You didn't know she was a minor?
No, I thought, she told me she was younger, but I thought we were just doing role play.
You don't mind if I'm frank with you, do you? Do you?
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
You are a parent's worst nightmare.
You sit here and you tell us you're role playing, that you weren't here to see a 13-year-old. You think your wife's and your daughter gonna buy that you just told us? I don't think so. So sit there and think about that for the next 3 days while you're in the jail cell. Because they ain't going to believe it. I'm going to hate to be making that phone call. And that's the story you're going to keep. Good luck to you.
Mike Manzi is a math tutor. A smart guy who suspected something seemed weird in our sting house.
You mind if I just, like, look around? Oh, no, you okay?
But he never calculated that I would be the one behind the curtain.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good.
Good. Why don't you have a seat right on that stool, please?
Sure.
No, right here, sir.
No, I know.
Please, right there. Right, sir. Sit, please.
Okay.
I need to talk to you.
Well,
what are you doing here today?
Well, I'm here because I was slightly concerned.
Concerned about what?
Well, concerned because she's talking to people that are a lot older on the website.
Now, why were you so concerned about a 13-year-old girl?
Well, she's talking to other people that are obviously the same age as me.
And how old are you?
I'm 32.
You're 32?
Yes.
So you came over to make sure she was okay?
Well, I came over just to make sure that
everything was fine.
Everything was okay. I was not.
So you were going to search the house just now to make sure what?
Well,
that's here?
Well, I mean, I don't know. She could come. She could be here with a group of people, for all I know, and she obviously was. I mean, don't you think? Don't you think that would be like a safe idea?
What was today's lesson supposed to be?
Today's lesson for me?
Today's lesson from you.
Today's lesson from me was to not, unfortunately, really worry about other people.
Now, you're a tutor, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And who do you tutor?
I tutor are these ages, older ages.
There's something you need to know.
Is there cops?
There's something you need to know.
Please.
I'm Chris Hansen.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Please let me go home, guys.
Sir,
guys,
it'd be best if you went out this door.
No, because I'm going to get arrested. I know what's going to happen. Sir, I really can't afford to do this. I can't. I'm really not here for any malintent. I really can't. Please do not.
But look at the chat.
I really just want to... Please let me go home, guys. I'm going to get arrested going that way. Please. No, I can't. I can't. I won't. Please.
You can't go this way.
Please, man.
You can't go this way.
Guys. Oh, this is horrible. This is horrible.
There's only one way out, through the garage, where the Fairfield, Connecticut cops are waiting with a pair of handcuffs with his name on them.
Please. I know.
Turn around, put your hands behind your back.
Please.
Put your hand behind your back.
Guys.
Hands behind your back.
Guys.
Listen, follow the instructions. Just follow the instructions, okay? Just calm down. Just follow the instructions. We'll explain everything.
No, just relax.
Please, I can't.
Manzi argues with the cops, and while he's not resisting arrest, he sure isn't being overly cooperative. Listen closely. The cops tell Manzi they may have to pull out the taser.
You're gonna get to
Kneel down.
I'm gonna what?
You're gonna
Kneel down.
I'm gonna get down. I'm gonna get down.
Get down.
Kneel down.
I'm getting down.
All right.
We'll explain everything to you, okay?
He's put into the back of the unmarked car and hauled off to the police station. The only numbers this math tutor will be crunching today are how much his bail will be.
Right all the way over.
Scooch over a little bit.
Yes, Mike, we are. He takes off his jacket before posing for a mugshot.
All right, face the wall.
So I was gonna go there. I was gonna go hang out, and if her mother ended up, coming in, I would have explained to her what was going on. But that, besides that, that would have been. That's all I would have done.
Were you guys going to go out to eat or anything? I know you guys talk about food a lot in here.
We did talk a lot about food, but we didn't.
I was getting hungry kind of. Actually,
I wasn't sure.
The text.
I have no idea of
All
what
right.
was,
You guys talk about weed a lot. You guys
Yeah, we
smoke?
spoke about that a little bit.
Was the plan to smoke and eat?
I mean, I was planning on trying to just like I said, being there, making sure things are okay. I would have definitely sat down and ate. I would have hung out, but that's pretty much it.
At first, Reyes writes,
"We might have to meet, but I will not do anything inappropriate with you. I do not want to go to jail."
But after Kelly says she's a virgin, Reyes writes,
"You would have..."
Yeah, if you wanted to.
Okay, let me give you a little hint. Okay, we have the chat log.
So you can go ahead and start telling the truth now, okay?
First time was 14, and then I was under assumption maybe it was 18. I didn't know.
She didn't say anything about 18 or 19. 14. She said 14.
Okay, 14.
But you talked about having sex with this 14-year-old girl.
I asked her if she was a virgin. I asked her about her having sex with older guys. She kept saying, cool, and this and that.
Yeah, but because a 14-year-old girl says it's okay doesn't make it okay.
I understand that. I'm not here to come and have sex.
But that's not what you indicated in your chat, Michael.
Then Reyes tells me he's read up on the problem of men soliciting underage kids out of concern for his own child.
It gets to me because I have a daughter.
You have a daughter. How old is your daughter?
2 years old.
2 years old.
It gets to me, and I don't want to see something like this happen.
You ever watched any television shows about?
Yes,
internet safety?
Dr. Phil, Oprah, all of them. I've watched them.
Have you ever watched Dateline NBC?
Yes, a bunch of times.
The To Catch a Predator shows?
Yes, and I hate that. I ain't nothing. I'm not like that.
Well, you know, you're now in one of the Dateline shows. I'm Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC, and we're doing a story on adults who try to meet underage kids online.
I just made a mistake, and I'm sorry. I was trying to see something firsthand, and it came back and bit me in the butt.
I mean, if it wasn't a setup, dude, you were going to have sex with her.
Honestly, no.
Don't. Let me tell you what I've learned in 14 years of law enforcement. When someone starts a conversation off with honestly, they're not being honest, man. Come on, I'm a guy too. Now you don't sit here and piss on my hand and tell me it's raining, okay?
Michael Seibert.
And why did you send pictures of yourself like this to her?
Oops.
Oops.
I will never do it again. Promise.
And you say a lot of sexually charged things to her for a 13-year-old girl.
I know what I did wrong. Okay?
Okay.
It will never happen again.
Go ahead, you can leave.
Later, he pleaded guilty to a charge of attempted lewd acts with a child and attempting to send harmful matter to a child with intent to seduce. He was convicted and sentenced to 18 months in state prison. So, fast forward 8 months from our house in Riverside to our Long Beach investigation. Just like his chat 8 months before, he asks, "Have you ever had sex yet?" And "I need sex." He also talks about group sex, but he's also suspicious and asks, "Are you a cop?" To which she replies, "No, I'm not a cop." Then, apparently referring to his meeting with Dateline 8 months earlier, he writes, "I got caught before."
Who's all here?
Just me.
Oh.
Promise, my parents are gone.
You know, you look familiar to me.
Oops.
That's right. Oops, he's done it again.
Michael, right?
Oops, sorry.
Do you remember who I am?
Can't just go.
What are you doing here, Michael?
I'm sorry.
You were just in court on Friday, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what happened in court on Friday?
He said more time.
More time before the next court date?
Yeah, I'm sorry what I did.
Okay. But you got to explain to me why or how you thought it was okay after having a court date stemming from our last visit, and then within 24 hours you show up at this house to meet another young girl. What are you thinking about? Now you know.
I know it.
You know what you said online, right?
Yeah.
You told me that you knew this was wrong.
I know.
And that you would never ever do it again. And that turned out to be a lie, didn't it, Michael?
I promise this time.
And you should also know that there's another side to Seibert's story. He served a year in jail for a dangerous assault.
What was the deadly weapon you used in the assault?
Bat.
And who did you go after with the bat? Some guy? It's time to go.
Seibert clearly doesn't want to leave. Having been through this before, he knows the police are waiting outside.
I need a bathroom.
Michael, you're going to have to go outside.
I know, you know.
Do you live with your mom?
Yep. They're going to kill me.
Meet 37-year-old Mike Vestal. He tells the decoy, "I must warn you, I am kind of big down there," and asks her if she wants to see. Then emails her a picture of his genitals.
You say that you're a pretty normal, horny old man, and I would love to make wild, passionate love to you.
I'm trying to understand why you thought
it was a good idea to come over here to visit a 13-year-old girl?
I don't know. I wasn't thinking. I know what the law says, but I'm really hoping for a warning.
This Jim.
He's looking for a black female, so we're trying to pull this off.
Meet 43-year-old James Klein, a married man with 3 children. And he says, I can tell you one thing, my tongue would be all over you, your mouth, your nipples, down between your legs, too. How you doing?
Pretty good.
Good. Why don't you have a seat right over there? Did you find the place okay?
Huh?
Did you find the place okay?
No, I didn't.
It took you a while.
Huh?
Did you get lost?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Why are you here tonight?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know what I'm talking about?
No.
You say we can make love all night long. Thornton looked a little lost in life. I want to show you something personal. She says, sure what? Well, it's something underneath my pants. I know you would die if someone found out you viewed it. It starts with a P and ends in an S. You know, that's illegal to send something like that to somebody who you think is underage. Are you addicted?
I'm not extremely addicted. I am addicted to a certain point.
Do you have a compulsion?
What was that? I don't know what that is, actually.
Do you have a problem controlling yourself when it comes to meeting young people online?
Yes. I have a problem with that. No.
Smells good. Alright, I'm just gonna go get something to drink while you finish that up, okay? You want something?
It seems something about that line gets this man thinking. Perhaps he's heard it before. I want you to just keep your hands right where I can see them, okay? And I want you to sit right down there. No, keep your hands right where I can see them. Right. What's so funny about the brownies?
Right when I saw the brownies, I knew.
You knew what?
I knew I was going to be running into you.
I think this is the first time we've had brownies.
I'm kind of chuckling about it just because, you know.
So you did bring condoms?
Well, they're always in my car.
They're always in your car.
Yeah. I'm always prepared for nothing.
What do you think should happen?
I don't know what to tell you, Chris.
I mean, obviously you know who I am. You know what show this is.
Yeah.
And you know what happens next, right?
In the days leading up to March 31st of 2007, did you engage in internet chats with a female you believed to be 14 years old?
Yes.
And you actually believed that she was 14?
Yes.
And on March 31st of 2007, you drove from your home to meet her at what you thought was her home in Manila, correct?
Yes.
And if in fact when you got there, if that 14-year-old girl was present at that home in Manila, was it your intention to engage in sexual conduct that would be inappropriate for a 14-year-old?
Yes.
My hair's a mess.
So, Lieutenant.
What's up?
What are we investigating tonight?
Nothing much.
What's your plan here?
I just drove down here to...
And how long was the drive?
5.5 hours.
Now, what would motivate somebody to drive 5.5 hours to come here to this house?
I don't know, sir. I'm just lonely. I don't have anybody and need somebody to talk to.
Am I supposed to know what to do with old men? Only with me. So this is funny.
I know. I'm sorry, sir.
It's funny. What do you think should happen to a police officer who gets caught doing something like this?
Well, really bad could happen.
Sheriff's office! Patterson steps back into the house, and an officer shoots him with a taser gun. Only one probe stays attached, so the taser is unable to shock him and drop him to the ground. In his online chat, Warwicker tells the decoy maybe we should hook up and says he would like to have anal sex with her. The decoy says, ouch, I think that would hurt a lot. Warwicker responds, yeah, but it's a good pain, you know. We have a lot to talk about. Though my arrival doesn't seem to faze him one bit.
This is Punch, right?
Yeah. What are you doing here?
Hanging out.
Hanging out?
Yes. And I knew that this was a setup because this was too convenient for this.
What was too convenient?
A chat room and just talking about everything. that she did.
But remember, we have his chat log, where he writes to someone who says she's a 13-year-old female, "I like rape." She responds, "Creepy." Worker explains that he doesn't really want to rape her, just rough sex. "I'd want you to resist and pretend you didn't want it and stuff."
What kind of a guy has a screen name, "Can I rape you anally"?
It gets responses.
Do you think rape is funny?
No.
Then why would you do this?
It's just something that I like to put myself into that role and talk about, you know?
And it gets scarier when he goes on to add, "I might want to cut you a little, suck on your blood," laugh out loud.
Please, I swear, sir, I'm a desperate person. I need a girl in my life, and if she really wanted to be my friend, that would be all I needed from her. I've never hurt anyone. I've never done anything. I would not have hurt her.
What about condoms?
Yes, sir, I have them also, but that was not my intention. I swear to you, sir.
What were you going to use the condoms for?
She told me to bring them also.
Did you say you are ready to have my thang in your mouth?
Yes, sir.
What do you mean by that?
Are you ready to have my in your mouth?
But if she was open to the idea,
yes,
you would have had sex with a 13-year-old girl?
Probably, yeah.
Why? Because it's so alluring to have sex with a 13-year-old girl?
It's just something that you'll probably never have again. That would be probably the cleanest, best pleasure, I would say.
The cleanest, best pleasure,
yes, sir,
is to have sex with a 13-year-old girl?
Yes, sir.
Could you explain yourself?
I'm sorry.
Shoot. Go ahead and cover up.
Certainly. I'm sorry.
What's going on here?
Your son IM'd me, and he told me to come on over.
He IM'd you?
Yes, sir.
You can sit down. How did he know to IM you?
I don't know, sir, honest.
So he just chose you out of the blue and said, "Come on over, get naked, and walk into the kitchen."
Well, I sat there talking to him for a little bit, yes.
And what'd you guys talk about?
We were just talking about anything, sir.
How old are you?
I'm 29, sir.
29. And what do you do for a living?
I drive a school bus.
You drive a school bus?
Yes, sir.
And you thought it was appropriate to walk into the home of a 14-year-old boy who you thought was alone, buck naked. What was your plan?
I don't know, sir.
What's your full name?
John Canelli.
And you're a school bus driver or a teacher?
Teacher.
You're a teacher. I'm going to need to see some ID.
I left that at home, so I'm sorry.
I'd like to see some ID. Turned out later that he was neither a teacher nor a bus driver. In fact, he was unemployed and had been for some time. What kind of conduct is this for a high school teacher?
No, sir, I've never done this before.
You're going to tell me you've never done this before?
No, sir.
So you just woke up this morning and said, "I'm going to get involved in an internet conversation with a 14-year-old boy. I'm going to go to his house, strip naked, and walk in with a 12-pack of beer." This was just something you thunk up today.
No, sir. I'm going to talk to him about it online.
Do you see how this looks, John?
Yes, sir.
Let me just see the driver's license.
I'm sorry, sir.
I'm sorry, doesn't cut it. What would have happened? What would have happened, John, if I wasn't here?
I probably would have chickened out, sir.
Chickened out? Do you see why that is hard for me to believe?
I do, sir. That is the truth.
You say to him, "Are you straight, bi, or gay?" He says, "Gay." "I just don't tell anyone." You say, "Sweet, I won't, I promise." You say, "You are so effing hot, bro. I want to be your boyfriend if you will have me. I'm serious."
I was just chatting. I was just...
Chatting? You're sitting in this kitchen naked, John. That's a step beyond chatting, isn't it?
Yes, sir, it would be.
I don't want to get you in trouble, bro. I also don't want to get me in trouble either. You knew this was wrong when you walked in.
Yes, sir.
I think I can learn real fast to love you. 14 years old. Do you know that it's illegal to have a conversation on the internet with the intent to have sex with a minor?
Yes, sir, I did.
So you came here knowingly violating the law.
Kennelly was significant because not only did he admit what he was doing was wrong, he also admits that he knew it was illegal, and he showed up anyway.
What do you think should happen to you?
I don't know, sir.
Well, there's something you gotta know. I am not the father of the boy, but I am Chris Hansen of Dateline NBC, and we're doing a story on computer predators. If anything else you'd like to say to us, we'd like to hear it. If not, you're free to leave.
Thank you.
You can take the towel to the garage and get dressed.
He sees the cameras. He's trying to keep the towel up around him. He's trying to grab his clothes and head out the door, and he gets his underwear on and just beelines to get out of there. If he had just left it at that, Kennelly would have been a memorable character, but what he did the next day just put him over the top. Less than 24 hours later, he's back in a chat room. I have been in television for 24 years.
I'm just gonna get something to eat.
John. Wait a minute, so let me get this straight. So they're talking about a meeting?
Nobody has ever gone through what that man went through when he got to this house. But now this is just amazing.
This guy leaves our house, shirtless, holding most of his clothes. And less than 24 hours later, there he is in a chat room trying to make a date with another young teenage boy. We couldn't believe it, but it was the same screen name, same everything. So the decoy made a date, and they agreed to meet at a nearby fast food restaurant. We move into position, he walks out of the restaurant, and we're there waiting for him. I remember exactly what I said. I have been in television for 24 years.
I just came to get something to eat.
And I have very seldom been at a loss for words.
Sir, I just came to get something to eat.
But I don't even know what to ask you first.
I just came to get something to eat.
John, we've been through this before. What are you doing? I've got the chat log again. You're chatting up another 13-year-old kid, and you're gonna meet him here at McDonald's. You identify yourself, you call yourself Shane this time. You ask him a series of personal sexual questions. Is that appropriate talk to be having with someone you think is a 13-year-old boy?
No.
Last night, you walked into a home naked, hoping to meet a 13-year-old boy. You said you were sorry. It was the first time you'd ever done it. You admitted it was wrong.
Yes, I did.
You left.
Yes, I did, sir.
And within 24 hours, you're back on the internet chatting up another 13-year-old kid. What is going on? What do you have to say for yourself?
I don't have anything to say for myself.
Well, you should say something, don't you think? I mean, what are we to think you're going to do next? Last night, you walk into a house in suburban Washington, naked, with a 12-pack of beer, hoping to meet a 13-year-old boy. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Today, you're on the internet again. You have an inappropriate conversation with a boy you think is 13, and you set up a meeting here at this fast food restaurant. What was your intention?
I don't know.
Don't you think you need some help?
I'm seeing a psychiatrist.
Do you see why I was skeptical last night when you said...
Can you get those?
No, I can't, John. I can't do that. That's their job, is to record video and audio. Now, you put yourself in this position, so don't get tough with them. Do you see why I was skeptical last night when you said it was the very first time you'd ever done something like that?
It was, though.
Oh, how can I believe that? And how do we know that you're not going to go out tomorrow or the next day or the next day or the next day and do this again?
I promise you I won't.
You see something so extreme, a guy show up naked and then come back the next day, you realize and you get a better understanding of how strong these addictions, these compulsions can be. And they develop online. First, perhaps porn sites, chat rooms, but ultimately that isn't enough to satisfy some of these guys. And that's when you see them, I think, take these extreme measures and risk so much to actually have a face-to-face meeting. What are you going to do?
I'm going to call my psychiatrist.
How long have you been seeing a psychiatrist?
A little over a year.
A little over a year? And why were you seeing him?
Because I had a family breakdown.
Meaning what exactly?
I had a death in my family, and I never handled it well.
And is that what you attribute this sort of behavior to?
I'm guessing, yeah.
That sounds like a cop.
But it's not that.
What happens if you really did meet a 13-year-old boy? What happens?
I don't know.
I don't know? It's illegal to have a talk on the internet with a minor with intent to have sex with that minor. You've done it twice in 2 days that we know of. That's a federal offense. You can go to prison for it. Do you know that?
Yes.
Then why do you do it?
I need help, and that's what I'm seeing a psychiatrist for.
And you were going to find help here at McDonald's?
No.
You were going to find help from a 13-year-old boy?
No.
Experts in the field, after hearing all this, are going to likely suggest that last night wasn't your first time and today isn't your second time, that you've been doing this for a very long time, John.
No, I haven't.
Do you understand why that's hard for me to believe? I mean, is there any reason for us to think that you won't just go ahead and do this again tomorrow?
I got 2 appointments with my psychiatrist tomorrow.
What about today? You don't seem that busy today.
That's why I'm going to go home and call him.
You consider yourself a predator?
I don't know.
You don't know? Is there anything else you want to say?
No, sir.
And he walks off, shoes untied, gets into his pickup truck, and drives off. And I'm thinking, I just can't believe what I've just seen. When we started these investigations, you know, the goal was to understand what goes on in these guys' minds that makes them think it's okay to show up at a house where a young teen is alone and try to have a sexual relationship. After you talk to a guy like Kennelly, you have a better understanding of the addictive nature of the internet and of the compulsion some of these guys develop. But it also makes you wonder how you deal with a guy like that. And so while it answers some questions, it often raises more.
Take a seat.
This 49-year-old man and the teenager talking to him have never met before. He probably believes she's the 15-year-old he's been chatting online with for the last week and a half.
Hey, I just had to change my shirt real quick, but just come in and watch some TV. I'll be right there.
Okay.
What he doesn't know is she's really a 19-year-old actress we hired to be a decoy. And he has just walked into a Dateline hidden camera investigation.
Come on in over here. Have a seat there. Hungry? How does it taste?
Great. Wow. These are home baked?
Do you want time to finish your cookie or?
Not really.
Okay, so you're good. If I ask you a couple questions.
Knocking on the back door, call out.
Hey, come on in.
As for the cameras inside the house, there are 8.
Coming your way, move.
Watch this man.
He's in the kitchen.
From the moment he walks in the door, his every move is caught on tape, although he doesn't know it yet.
He's coming into the living room. Chris has him.
What are you doing here today?
Is this some kind of setup or something?
What do you mean?
I'm just on my way to the beach.
He's Michael Willis, screen name generic white male. He's almost 50 years old, and he's been chatting online with a girl who calls herself Jolanda and who says she's 15. He lies to her about his age, typing, "I'm 30. You probably don't want me around you. I'm cute, though. Built good." Then he says,
"We'd have to keep us a secret because of the age difference. Younger girls like you don't come along often. I'd want you again and again."
Then he sends an online picture of his penis to the girl who told him she was 15.
And how did you meet her?
Well, of course, online.
You act like I should know that.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a common thing now.
Just to meet young girls online.
I'll meet any women online.
Then I remind generic white male that Jolanda told him she was 15.
What? No way.
You know, I have the transcript of your conversation with Jolanda.
You know what? I don't want this cookie. I just want to get to the beach.
Come here, just 1 second, sir.
But generic white male won't be going to the beach today. As he heads out the back, he stumbles off the porch right into the arms of the Fort Myers Police Department. The police quickly take him down to the ground. In Florida, where it's relatively easy to get a permit to carry a concealed weapon, these officers aren't taking any chances.
The best thing to do is, as quickly as possible, was to get this person on the ground with their hands behind him and handcuffed.
He's taken away in an unmarked police vehicle and brought to this transfer station. Generic white male's car is searched.
There's some condoms and things like that in there.
And he's put into a marked police car and taken to jail. The next morning, he's brought before a judge, and bail is set.
So it'll be a composite bond of $40,000. That's all.
Slow down for a second, alright?
Yeah.
I just gotta finish right off. You managed to bring your camera?
It was like Weary had gone through an eco-challenge race. He had walked, he had gotten on a bus, he had walked some more, and when you see him come up the driveway, he's got a backpack and a hat, and he looks like a hiker. And he's weary, thirsty.
Sorry that busted.
Hey, sir, could you come back over here, please, and have a seat right on there? You should be in a hurry there. Go ahead, have a seat right there, please.
All right.
Go ahead, please sit down. Why were you in such a hurry to get over on the other side of the fence?
Oh, nothing. I thought I was looking for somebody, and that's all. I'm sorry.
And who were you looking for?
John Pedersen.
John Pedersen.
Yeah.
And why were you looking for John?
Huh? I was going to talk about some business.
And what business was that?
I'm going to try to find a job somewhere, and I heard about John Pedersen.
And why did you come to this house looking for John Pedersen?
I had a phone call.
A phone call?
Yeah.
From?
In fact, I don't actually know the guy, besides the fact that his name is, I don't even remember his name. It was about 5 hours ago. I've been walking.
So you were just walking down the road and you thought that this fellow with the construction company lived in this house?
Somebody told me that he lived...
Somebody? Who is somebody?
A young man on the phone.
A young man on the phone. And how did you reach this young man on the phone?
He had called me.
He had called you, just out of the blue?
No, I think he had my number.
He starts to get into this, well, I'm here to apply for a job. And I said, well, so you know the folks who live here? He goes, no, but I knew that they were looking for somebody to do some work. And I said, really, what kind of work do you do? He said, well, you know, driveway work, resurface driveways and cement, stones and things like that. And I'm thinking at this point, okay, here we go. I'm just going to let the line out a little bit here and see how far he takes it. And what's your name?
My name is Michael.
Michael. Michael Wiltse.
No, Michael Weary.
Michael Weary. So you're saying this was somebody else, even though we know you were at the public library using a computer. And
what you know is I was in a public library. That's what you may know.
You don't know everything I know. So you want to tell me the real story now? Or you want to go with what you got? It's up to you.
And when does the real story get me?
It's not the first time somebody has tried to take that position. You know, that's an old email account. I don't use it anymore. But when you take them through the math of the situation, okay, this is your screen name, right? This is the communication that we have between somebody using your screen name and a young teen. And all of a sudden, you're here. You, not someone else. Your story doesn't make that much sense. Now, maybe I'm skeptical.
I don't know.
But it doesn't make
sense.
sense.
Who you are. I don't even know who you are. I came in here. I was just now told that gate's open. Come on in. Okay.
I mean, it just defied logic. And at some point in the interview, you could see that he knew that this wasn't going to work out to be a great story for him. What this sounds like, Michael, is that you were coming here to have sex with a 13-year-old boy.
Hell no.
But why would you say these things to somebody you thought was a 13-year-old boy?
Somebody else that was also on the computer in the library been using my name.
So it's one big mix-up.
I'm telling you what I came here for, and I don't have sex with anybody. Not me. And if you were anybody that had access to my record, you look at my record, you figure out that the only time I had any problems with anybody was a young woman, unless you look at my adolescent stuff. And then I was an adolescent.
So you've got a record?
I'm guessing I do.
You're guessing you do?
I have a record. You know it.
You had a problem with a young woman?
A long time ago.
Did you do time for that?
Don't you know?
I'm asking you.
Why are you asking?
I want to know the truth.
Yes, I've done time for that. Straight up, I've done time for that. It was with a young woman. Ain't no kids in me.
We know he's got a criminal history. And then we have this chat. It's right there in black and white. You're talking to a boy named Luke.
I don't know a boy named Luke.
I'll be there as close to 11 as possible, so I will need your number so that I can call you when I'm near the bus stop. I will look for you, and we will discreetly go to your room and talk. And we'll talk about whatever pops up and stimulates you into whatsoever you want.
You are reading me something that somebody wrote. I'm sorry to hear that.
So I need exact bus stop near our place. As I get off, I'll walk toward your street, so you also must tell me how to get to your bed from there.
Well, I don't know about what everybody that this person has said to a 13-year-old. I never even met a 13-year-old.
Well, the reason why I'm so curious about all of this is that I'm Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC, and we've been doing a story on computer predators, adults who go online to try to meet young teenagers. Now, if you have anything else you'd like to say for yourself, we'd love to hear it. If not, you're obviously free to leave and go on your way.
I'm not doing anything. Now, if there's not a Scott Pedersen.
Do you have Scott Pedersen's name written down?
No, I have an address. I can leave an address. That's all I was planning to do. There's no Scott Pedersen. I can't leave no phone number, no address.
So you never wrote down Scott Pedersen's name anywhere?
No.
He maintained until the very end of the interview that he was just a dusty, determined traveler who came from a long ways away to try to get honest work. The problem with that, of course, is that none of it makes sense. When you put it all together, the chat, his crumbling story, and the fact that, you know, he's the guy sitting in the kitchen across from me, you know, it doesn't look good for him.
The young man I thought was supposed to be here.
What's that person's name?
Scott was supposed to be here, and he didn't mention his name. I just said, look at Scott.
Who's Scott?
The guy I was supposed to meet. I was told.
You work construction?
I was looking for any kind of job.
You don't work right now?